Okay, Charlie Sly.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, bro.
So how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. And you?
I'm also fine. So how was the fufu?
In fact, I enjoyed every bit
Oh,
of it.
okay.
It's been a while, but I'm very, very happy because I never knew you are a very good cook like that. That is why. Is it candy?
Yeah.
It's always glued to you.
Oh,
I now understand the secret. It's normal.
Oh, sure, bro. I'm glad you also paid a visit. I'm so glad you guys, you and the squad are here to pay us a visit and all that. Alright, so Charlie, slide. Chalon, when you give me the slide. I know a lot of you guys know slide. So this is the slide guy. So I'm here to ask him some very few questions and we take it from there. Yeah. So slide, people would like to know a lot about you. So in the first place, people like to know why did you choose to come to Canada? Because you are currently in Manitoba, right?
Yeah.
So why did you choose to come to Canada instead of going to any of the European countries or maybe the United States? Why Canada?
Okay. So thanks for the question, and let me just use this opportunity to introduce myself once again.
Okay.
So my name is Sylvester Delali. I hail from Ghana.
Okay.
I was a teacher back then with Ghana Education Service, but by the grace of God, I am in Canada now and pursuing my master's program at the University of Manitoba.
Okay.
So basically, I would say the motivation behind Canada was the plan they have for students or graduates after school.
Okay.
That is what informed my decision to come to Canada.
Okay.
Because when you compare Canada with almighty USA, you could see that Canada has a clear plan, which is getting the postgraduate work permit after school. Then, after the postgraduate work permit, I can go back and go and help my home country, as I put the view in my visa application. So basically, the reason why I settled on Canada was because of the pathway they have for students right after they are done with school. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. That's so nice. And I would like to know, so how was the journey like, ever since you dreamt of coming to Canada? So has the journey been so smooth? In fact, there's a very broad question, right? So I'd like to divide them into sections. So I'd like to know, starting from the school application. So how was it like? What made you choose the University of Manitoba rather than other schools? And how was it like in the process of applying for admission for the master's program?
Okay. So I would say it wasn't easy.
Okay.
Especially if you are new to something and you are being taught and you also have to learn a whole lot. Like, you realize that at the end of the day, you end up using a lot of information and you don't even know what to do.
Sure.
But I'm very grateful to my mentor, Mahmoud Sanfo. Like, he has been very great and he has been very helpful throughout this process.
Okay.
So my Canada journey started because of him.
Okay.
And after he gave me some advice and some mentorships, then I started doing research on my own by looking for schools. So I think I applied to about 4 schools, if I remember. That is Mount Allison University, and the College of North Atlantic,
okay,
University of Manitoba, and University of New Brunswick.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I applied to 4 schools, and it also comes with some financial costs. Exactly. So the only school that had the lowest application fee was Mount Allison University. That is $50 Canadian.
Oh, okay.
And I even applied for an undergraduate program in that particular school. Yeah, but the rest application fees were 100 or above 100. Yeah. So as we all know, when you want to apply to a school, you have to do your basic research.
Yeah.
Because I cannot just stand up and throw my hard-earned salary away. That
as a teacher,
exactly.
I understand. I know,
because
right?
I wouldn't put my money somewhere, and at the end of the day, it wouldn't yield the results needed. And luckily for me, I got admitted into all the 4 schools I applied to. Yeah.
Senior one. Okay.
So actually, out of the 4, 3 were undergraduate programs and 1 was a master's program, and I got admitted into all. Yeah.
Okay. So that is one of the main reasons why you came to University of Manitoba.
Yeah.
And those out there, the reason why I also love the University of Manitoba is because of their entrance scholarship.
Exactly.
Like it's something
I,
automatic for all international students
Yeah.
admitted. You understand? So
I
at
think
least
I was awarded 6,300 Canadian dollars,
exactly.
yes, as an entrance scholarship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand? So that takes care of your first year tuition fee.
Exactly.
So it will be left with about 8K and some coins. It will be divided into two. So you pay 4K and some coins for the fall semester, and 4K and some coins for the subsequent or the winter semester. And again,
I think the good thing about University of Manitoba, the master's program too, is that Manitoba is an Empower supported school.
Exactly.
So even if maybe you can raise funds somewhere to pay the fees, you can go in for something small from Empower to pay for whatever deficit is left, so that when you're done with school, you can have a good plan to pay within the 10-year period that they are giving you.
Yeah, and again, it has a continuing fee something. So this semester, which is like I'm almost done with my first year. So I'm in my second year, right? And I'll be paying continuing fee. So instead of last semester that the fee was around 7K something, of which the entrance party took around 3 something from out of it, remaining 4K. This semester I'm to pay only 500 something card.
I think I also saw that on the website, and
Yes.
since you are our seniors, I'm very happy you have confirmed this, because
Yes.
I also saw it, and
Yeah.
it's good news,
Yeah,
because
because you're paying 533
Yeah.
Canadian dollars for the whole semester.
it makes sense.
Like, Charlie, it's cool. It's something that you can pay like within some shortest period of time, especially if you are again working. Even if you're not working, there's something cool for you to, ask money from back home to settle. So, 5,000 Ghana cedis. Let me put it that way, like 5,000 Ghana cedis as a whole time fee. Like, it's quite meaningful. So that's another one thing I love about the University of Manitoba. I know other schools or other universities have similar policies, but at least the University of Manitoba again have additional policies, especially for other funding, and also depending on where you go to funding, you get it. It's really depending on where you go to funding.
So I think on my admission letter too, they also stated that I can apply for additional funding, like this TA-ship, grade marker, and some other small funding opportunities that are available on their website.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm yet to explore those options, because I'm looking elsewhere for some funding as well. That is why I'm yet to apply for those TA-ships and those marker.
Okay, that's so nice. All right, so concerning the now we know you got an admission to University of Manitoba. So now when it came to when it was time for you to apply for a visa, so how was the process like? Was all that smooth? I know you can answer us through the visa application processes.
I wouldn't say it was smooth, because some of these things still, as I said earlier with the school application, it involves finances. And back again, a teacher with the Ghana Education Service, the salary is something which is not enough to help. But then, because we were also involved in some side businesses back home, at least we're able to plan before putting in the visa application.
Okay.
So my visa application, fortunately, my elder brother sponsored me with his bank statement. He's a businessman actually, so he gave me his bank statement, his business certificate. Then he gave me his birth cert as proof of relationship, because the visa officer wants to know if really he's my brother. Then I think his Ghana card. He also drafted a very good sponsorship letter for me, and also prepared an affidavit of support, which backs his sponsorship legally, showing to the visa officer that he has the money available, and when I come in, I won't struggle. So after I got those things from him, I also gathered my necessary documents, that is my academic transcripts, my employment letters, my promotion letters, relevant certifications, my COVID card. I also did the upfront medicals, because from experts or people I learned from, they made it clear that the upfront medicals reduces the waiting time, because when I don't do the medicals, at the end of the day, if I'm eligible, I would get a medical request, which might take some time. So I'll say the upfront medicals too was very helpful. So after I gathered everything, I wrote my study plan, or my letter of explanation or the statement of purpose for the visa application. When I was done, I gave it through some of my bosses to review, and they gave me their feedback on it. Same thing that I did to my proof of funds as well. I didn't assume that because I was assisting others and I had that kind of experience, so I'll just do whatever I feel is right and submit. I still give my documents out to my mentors and my friends to have a look at it, and they also gave advices which were very, very helpful, and it even opened my mind on certain things.
Yeah. So it's very important to share your SOP and your POF to others to also glance through.
Exactly.
Give you a feedback.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
don't
very
believe in
important.
yourself too much.
Exactly.
And, yeah, you're making
Because
sense. Yeah.
there is this saying that two good heads are better than
Yeah,
one.
yeah, of course.
So at least when you get a second or a third eye, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Because you might think, oh, you've done it perfectly, but someone will see something which he or she will point out to you that, hey, this thing, I believe if we do it this way, it will be right. And about my home ties, I wasn't having any property, but I had about, I think, 6 or 7 strong home ties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had a family back in Ghana, so I spoke about my family. Then I had a business, so I spoke about my business, added proof that it's my business certificate and the registration showing that the business is mine. I also spoke about, I actually do media stuffs in church, photography, streaming and those things. So I spoke about that, added evidences of pictures of those activities, like different pictures to buttress that point. I also spoke of my common law partner or my fiancé. I added different pictures of myself and her just to prove themselves that, oh yes, like I'm in a relationship and a committed one, and I'll be returning hopefully after my program so that we tie the knot in the near future. I also spoke about my pension contributions, that is the SNIT and some other private ones that I was doing. I went for a statement from those institutions to back it, and I made them aware that their investment that I cannot abandon,
of course,
back home.
Yeah.
And I also spoke about my employment, like my job as a teacher, and what I'm coming to study is going to be very helpful. So because of that, when I have to return and take up my position as a teacher, but at a higher level now, or at a different specialization, because I'm studying masters in disability studies. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I use as my own ties, and I use the old portal. You know, there is this conspiracy that people always say. They say the new portal and the old portal, like the new portal is faster than the old portal. For me, I don't believe in any of those things because there is no data to back that. Assume we have the data, we can just oppose the two and be able to tell, okay, what this person is saying is really true.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple of people who have used the old portal, they got decision in less than 5 working days.
Wow.
Yes. And I know people who have used the new portal, they've got decision like, let's say 6 or 7 months. Some also got it earlier.
Sure.
So irrespective of the portal, like any of them works perfectly. But the reason why I prefer the old portal is because of the document size.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't just want to submit any haphazard application. Like, I put in a very strong application and added all necessary evidence. So it made my documentations a lot, because I don't want to raise any room for doubt that, oh, maybe because of this and that, so I'm denying your visa. And since I've learned from people who have already done it and had sample documents from them, I believe it helped me to put in a stronger application. I submitted my application, I think somewhere, in August. I've forgotten the date, but it was getting to the end of August. And I went for my biometric, I think first week in September. Then I was waiting, getting to the end of November, then I got my visa approved.
Wow, so total of like more than 3 months.
Yeah, I would say about 3 months, 3 weeks, or 3 months, 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
So for those who apply for visa and expect a decision like within a month or so, please exercise patience if your decision is not yet out. Okay, that's why I've been advising people to submit the rightful documents they need. So even if your decision is taking late or it's taking a while to come, just have the confidence that no matter the number of days or months or weeks that it will take for a visa to decision to be made on your application, you should definitely come out with a positive feedback or positive results. So please let's take note of this.
So let me just add this as well. I've been advising people that Canada study permit application with a visa application is something unique. You can't compare what A is doing to what B is doing. So if B has gotten an approval in, let's say, in 2 days, I know someone who actually got an approval right after his biometrics, because of these date issues. So he had a date, I think, 4 weeks after submitting. Right after his biometrics, he didn't even get home. He was in the car and he got a notification that his visa was approved. Someone too waited for over 8 months, someone too for over 12 months, someone too for over, let's say, 5 or 4 months. So all that I can say is that just submit a very strong application. And one thing you should do is that if you're a believer, you should always pray about it, because I trusted, I had the faith, and I knew that my God would do it for me. I wouldn't say it's all by my might, because I know there is a stronger force somewhere that makes certain things happen in the spiritual realm. So I also advise that once we are doing this, if you are not a Christian, maybe you have an object of worship that you believe in, I will ask that you petition that object of worship as well and commit whatever you are doing into his or her hand, so that at the end of the day, that miracle will happen for you as it happened in my case.
Okay, sure. Again, I would like to know, so right after passport request, how was it feeling like? After waiting for that 3 months and all of a sudden, there's an update of our application from do not reply. That message, the way I get that message, do not reply, I'm like, oh my God.
You see, the funny thing is that the do not reply message that I had, I didn't log into my portal, but I started jubilating because I knew that like I had my visa approved.
Sure.
I had 2 do not reply messages. But it doesn't mean when you have 2, it's an automatic approval. Sometimes it is 2 correspondence, which talks about biometric and maybe a denial, or sometimes but 2 correspondence, biometric and the PPR. But I was very confident. The reason I was confident was because a friend of mine, I helped him, like I assisted him. We did his application together. The day he was approved, that afternoon, he was scared to log into his portal. So he called me and shared the details with me that I should log in. When I logged in, he got an approval. So he told me that I shouldn't worry. The God that has done it for him will do it for me.
Sure.
On that same day, when I moved from his place and got home in the evening, I also had the notification. I even started jubilating. Lo and behold, when I logged into my portal, passport request was there. Come and see, I couldn't sleep the whole night.
I saw it on the WhatsApp platform. No, I was so happy for you, because I was like, oh, Slide, what's happening to Slide's application? We thank God for this. So how's the preparation like? So it's after submitting your passport, what did you do towards your preparation ahead of your journey to come to Canada?
Okay, so fortunately for me, I had a lady friend who was also coming to Manitoba, but Brandon. So she prepared a list. And she shared that list with me. So I just also extracted what I needed out of the list to also do my preparation. Yes, and I think right after taking my passport, I left Ghana in the next 2 weeks. So I even booked my flight ticket before I did the calculation to say that even if there should be a delay, by this time I should get my passport, so that
based on that you book your flights. So what are some of the food stuff you came along with when coming to Canada?
So the food stuffs here, the Ghanaian one plenty, because we were advised that when we are coming we should bring a lot of food stuff. So I packed like some fish, kivo gari, I think this flour, gari itself, beans, like most of these Ghanaian foods.
What about dry fish and dry?
Yes, dried fish. Like we brought dried fish as well.
So at the port of entry, can you share some of the experience you had at the port of entry with us?
So fortunately for me, I was traveling with my sister and a brother, the 3 of us. So when we got to the port of entry, we actually used Nova Scotia. So the way our flight was booked, like it was some way, Air Canada, from Ghana to London, London to Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia to Toronto. It wasn't easy. So when we got to Nova Scotia,
Okay. Well,
It-
in the first
it
place,
is-
what flight did you book?
I booked Air Canada.
Air Canada.
Yes,
Oh,
Air
okay.
Canada.
Air Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wasn't the one who booked it for me. A friend,
Okay.
FX.
FX.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was
okay,
the one who
okay.
booked the.
Shout outs to
ticket
you,
for me.
FX, wherever you are. Shout
Yeah.
outs to you.
So he was the one who booked the flight ticket for me. Yeah, but when we got to Nova Scotia, like it seems that particular port of entry is not a place that people use most often. So it was like less busy. Like the place was very silent.
Nova
like-
Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. That's
Okay.
Halifax.
Halifax.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just went there and they welcomed us. I think we did the arrive count thing there. We
Yeah.
answered some questions. Then we followed the instruction on the screens there, and we went to the after immigration checks. We went to the border officer.
Okay.
So he just requested for our introductory letter and our how do we call it, the admission letter, the LOA.
Okay.
And that was all. He didn't even ask us any questions. I was even the one who took my sisters and my friends home and put everything together and gave it to the visa officer. He went through everything. Then he just printed our study permit for us with stress free. Even with my documents, I forgot to print from Ghana. So I had to even open my LOA and my introductory letter on my phone for the visa officer. I was really scared that maybe
You based on that
he
too. Yeah.
have
Ask
issues
you
with that, but
questions, yeah, he was okay.
like he was okay with it, and he printed our study permit and welcomed us and also advised us that we should study very hard. So our port of entry experience very smooth, very
very
cool.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's so nice. Congrats to that as well.
Thanks.
So far, you are in Manitoba with us. So how do you see Canada before and after? Before coming to Canada and now that you are in Canada, how do you see Canada? Is it the Canada you've been, hearing about while back home? Like, can you tell us about this?
So far, I will say so good. I cannot complain
Okay.
because at least I'm not experiencing doomsday. Oh yes, ever since I came here,
Okay. You've not experienced
I've
this,
never experienced doomsday.
Okay.
But that's just on a lighter note.
Yeah.
It has been good, and I see a great future ahead because this country has a lot in stock for international students,
Yeah.
provided you abide or go according to the rules or the conditions of your study permit. That is, you have to be in school, you have to study, and you have to come out with good grades as well.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about their system here is the practicality of what they are doing.
Yeah.
It's not only bookish, but like you get those hands-on experience
Yeah.
on the full training, internships, co-op, and those things.
Yeah.
So I'll say it has been great, and I don't regret coming here. The only time I regretted was the first week when I landed in Canada. We were still in winter. I didn't know I have to dress very well before I go out.
Oh, okay.
So my hand got frozen, like
Oh.
there's a frostbite. or
Frostbite,
whatever.
yeah.
When I got inside my room, I started shedding tears that
Oh,
I wish I
sorry.
didn't come to Canada. But I noticed that once I started dressing very well and going out, the impact of the weather that time, because it got to a point, I think we experienced negative 37.
Yeah, sure.
But the impact was like okay because I had dressed very well that time.
Yeah.
That was the only time I regretted coming. But I would say so far, everything is fine.
Yeah.
And we are moving on. We are praying and see what the future holds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Manitoba happens to be one of the coldest provinces in Canada. Saskatchewan is one. Always Saskatchewan is ahead of us, but after Saskatchewan, right? Manitoba is also one of the coldest provinces in Canada. So I think now your body has been able to acclimatize with the weather here.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at what you're putting on, like like guy now look at All right, so it was nice having this interview with you, and I'd like you to give us an advice to those also having an interest in coming to Canada to study. What are some of the things you like to tell them?
Okay. So studying here is not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's not something which is really difficult because of the experiences I had, and it's all about research and reading, and also aligning yourself with the right people.
Sure, that's very important.
Yeah, because one thing I've noticed in life is that the biggest currency you can ever value is the kind of relationships you build with people.
Yeah.
Because I would say if I hadn't built that relationship with Mahmoud Sanfo, I'm not sure I would have been in Canada by now.
Yeah.
But it was through him. That is how come I got exposed to this process and I've come this far.
Yeah.
So I would say that gone were those days that when you want to travel, because of where we come from, I understand you try to hide some things from people. But then if you don't speak to people
how would you
who have done it already, how will you be able to navigate the complexities or the difficulties in the process?
Yeah.
So I will say that people should always align themselves with positive-minded people who also want to do this, and seek advice from people who have done this already. And also I always tell people that when you want to study abroad, it's a full-time job. Anywhere I get the opportunity to speak to people, I will always tell them that it's a full-time job, because you don't expect not to do anything and then you want results. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Because when I was working back in Ghana, morning, afternoon, dawn, midnight, research. And I would say if I hadn't put in much effort or much work, I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
People feel, oh, I can just do anything haphazardly and I'll be here. It doesn't work that way.
Sure.
It requires a whole lot of hard work and sleepless nights. You have to sacrifice it sometimes. So people should just make use of their smartphones, their laptops, or their MacBooks. It's very, very important. I would say that there are a lot of talents out in Ghana, people who are very exceptional students, and then because of the way we use social media, we tend to focus on the negatives rather than looking out for the positives.
Yeah.
For example, you have a YouTube channel, and you have been doing this. I've been watching your videos sometimes, and you've been educating people. People should focus on those contents. Like, there are people who talk about how to study abroad, how to travel, and we are also there to guide anyone who wants to come and study here for free.
Legally?
Yes, legally, for free. If you have a different mindset, me, I'm not even ready to assist you. But if genuinely you have that mindset of coming here to study, I would advise that you should try your best and follow people who have done this before and seek the right advice. And I bet you, if someone wants to come to Canada, let's say by the end of this year, it is still possible.
Of course.
Because there are still schools that admissions are open, and they can put in very competitive applications and get in. And because of the cap issues, people feel that visa officers will intentionally deny visas now. I always say that when it's not done right, there's no way an officer is going to approve you, unless maybe the officer overlooked something or maybe didn't thoroughly review your application. That is when it's going to work for you. But once you do it right and you add prayers, I believe everything is going to work out for good.
Sure.
So that is my advice for your listeners.
Thank you so much for having this interview.
Thank you, bro.
I really appreciate it.
For the fufu, I'll come again. Don't worry. I really enjoyed it.
Sure.
Nice.
Sure, Charlie. So brothers from Manitoba, or currently in Manitoba, Charlie, we do this from time to time. Weekends, if you are close to us or you are in Manitoba, feel free to pass by. Let's enjoy fufu or local style together. Let's have a very nice interview like this. Let's have fun, because the depression here is real. All right, that's why you have to associate yourself with your friends, or build relationship with people to enable you to feel accompanied by someone, or feel
you just
that
reminded
kind of
me cry. Like, when I came in fact, I was depressed.
Of course.
Because I noticed that you are doing the same thing over and over again, all by yourself, no one to talk to. You're always in the room. If it's not maybe campus room, it's tough. But when I started associating myself with the Ghanaian family or the Ghanaian community, I've noticed that a lot of things have changed, and I don't even think about those things that I used to think about in the past. Like,
Yeah.
I have a free mind now. I'm able to focus and do all that I'm supposed to do. So, like, that depression thing here is very, very real.
Yeah.
When you choose to be in your shell, like you want to be at one place without associating,
Yeah.
it's very disturbing. So,
Yeah.
I advise people that when they come in here too, they should try their best to associate themselves with people that will help them. Yeah.
Yeah. So socialization is very important. So let's take note of this. All right. So guys, it was nice meeting you guys all. Please, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, just click on the subscription button to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So my name is Nathan, as you already know, and this is Sly. Thank you. Bye.